everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in to Pacific Northwest Prospecting. So today I've brought you to Cape Disappointment. Now you guys might recognize this spot because this is basically where we started the channel. This is a place that I got shown before I started this channel. It's where I got my first gold cube to come down and run some concentrates, and in 2 days I got almost 8 grams of gold here. It's a really impressive spot. Now we've had good days, we've had bad days, but this has always been in my opinion, one of the best beach deposits in the United States. Now, I have some bad news for you. We can no longer run our equipment here on the beach. Now, we used to run, sluice boxes, gold cubes, really big high bankers, but the key was that we were running them in a recirculating system. We can't pull water from the beach, right from the ocean, and run our systems like we can at a river. So here we have to rely on tubs and filtering out that water before we put it back through our systems. And we've been doing that for a long time. And the reason why you don't see a bunch of holes on the beach is 1, people fill in the holes, and 2, the ocean cleans itself back up rather nicely. But legislation has gone through to where no longer in Washington can you use motors in your mining operations. So that's dredges, high bankers, little electric motors that you can use along the creeks. And that's where it gets us. Those little electric motors we use in our recirculating system is an electric pump. Therefore, it is illegal on the beach. Now, the way it was originally written was that we could kind of get away with this by taking our water off. They were saying that the water was an effluent, a discharge that could not go back onto the beach. So we're like, all right, we'll take the water with us. And we got away with that for a little while by taking our water with us, which was a big pain in the butt. But then legislation went through again, gone. If you go into the gold and fish pamphlet, it says no motorized mining on the beach allowed, period. So we're kind of screwed. And I really, really love this beach. Now we're down here at the Dead Man's Hollow section of Cape Disappointment, and that's because over here is where dead bodies would wash up, dead bodies from shipwrecks that happened at the mouth of the Columbia over here. This is a really neat spot, and we're checking it out because of the black sand deposits here along the side. Now, even though we can no longer mine at this location, we can still process and get a couple buckets of sand to bring home for each one of us. So me and my son can each bring 2 5-gallon buckets home to run, and that's what we're doing. We went down to our first spot that you've seen us run at in previous videos, and we got 2 buckets down there. Now we're up on the north end of the beach, closer to Dead Man's Hollow. We're exploring. We're gonna go back here and try to find a cave that I've heard about. We're gonna do some exploring, look around, test some deposits, and then grab a couple buckets from here. But let's head over to the trees and talk some more about this, because that sun is killing me. So what can we do about it? Well, at this moment, there's really not a lot we can do. We do have to take this to legislation and try to get the rules changed and try to make them prove what damage we're actually doing at the beach, because we're not actually doing any. Now, there is one way that we can run here at the beach, and that's if we get an HPA. That's a hydraulic plan of action. Now, to do that, you have to get another permit that goes along with it. It's a big ordeal. I'm gonna start the process so that I can see what has to be done, document it, and hopefully be able to mine this again. But an HPA is the same thing as like a big company has to get when they're putting in a bridge or a culvert, or they're digging out a river, like the Rogue River is a good example of that. They banned us from that river. Hands and pans is what they say. Yet they're gonna run an excavator out into the river to dig out the channel so that the boats can go through. Screw the salmon beds. We want our boats to run up, so they're gonna get an HPA and run that tractor right out into the river and dig it out. But God forbid a gold panner uses a shovel in the river. But if you get an HPA in Washington, you can run your equipment, you can run your dredge, you can run your high banker, you can run here at the beach. But you have to go through all of the red tape. It's not an easy process, and that's exactly what they want. They don't want it to be easy. They don't want you going out prospecting. So this is going to be kind of my farewell to Cape Disappointment until things either change or I get my hydraulic plan of action. So we're going to get our 4 buckets today. We're going to go home, we're going to run it, and we're going to see how much gold there is. Now, there's another reason why I came down here. All of this black sand through this area has magnetite. And let's talk about magnetite. But why am I talking about magnetite? Well, magnetite, this nice black sand that you see right here that I can easily collect with a magnet, is primarily an iron ore. And we have so much of this left over when we're doing our prospecting. Not to mention, I've got 1 bucket at home that I need to rerun, plus I'm bringing home 4 more that makes 5 5-gallon buckets. That's a lot of leftover black sands. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're taking this black sand home and we're actually gonna make a tatara. That is a clay furnace that's about 4.5 feet tall. And we're actually gonna run this black sand equal amount with the charcoal for around 8 hours. Now, once that charcoal is burned down with the magnetite, we're actually gonna end up what's known as a bloom. That bloom is a rough form of iron. There are gonna be impurities in there. It's gonna look really, really cool. We will disassemble the bloomery furnace or tatara, whichever you wanna call it, and we will extract the bloom, put it onto a chunk of wood, and we'll pound it out. Now I'll break that up and actually get smaller pieces to figure out what chunks are harder versus softer, and we're gonna see what we can make. Maybe we can make some little hand shovels for the channel. Either way, it's a really fun project, but it takes a lot of magnetite to do what I wanna do. So coming down here, not only are we gonna get some gold, not only are we getting to sample a few spots along the beach, but all the material that's left over that I normally just throw away, the silky black magnetite sand, we're gonna melt that down and we're gonna see exactly what and how much kind of iron we can make out of it. So I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm gonna tail it back to my rig so I can get a couple buckets in the cart. And we're gonna come down here and get a couple samples and we're gonna get it back to the house. I also wanna check out this cave. I keep hearing about a cave. So let's go check it out. Now, as you guys can see, this is the material that we're going after. Historically, this beach has had large black sand deposits right on the surface because the ocean just rips away that blonde sand during the summer. And when we dig down, you can see that we have this nice dark black sand. And when the light hits it, there is a slight bluish to the sand, and that's generally the black sand that we're after. Now, a little bit of salt and pepper is okay. That's where it's got some blondes mixed in, but the darker the better. This whole area right here would be a good spot to collect a sample to take home and see what's in there. We've got about 4 inches of material right here that we could easily dig. And we'll just skim that layer. And we'll test kind of like a broad spot in here, and then we'll go and get another bucket in another spot. I can remember which buckets went where by this video, and then we can see what areas did best. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled up. So I'm kind of in a neat spot right here where there's a small wedge coming in between this grass, and the black sand is actually built up here quite a bit. Yeah, pretty thick. So I'm gonna fill up a bucket with this nice black sand, fill in the hole. That'll be our 4 buckets of sand, and then we're gonna head home. We went over and saw that cave. That was pretty awesome, and explored back in there because the water used to go all the way back there. But I wanna get home with this sand, and I wanna run it and see what we got. See you guys at home. All right, so we made it back to the house. We've got the 4 buckets that we got down at the beach. I've got the gold cubes set up right here with recirculating systems. Now we're gonna be collecting the sand into this big blue tub here. That way I can keep all of it, let it dry out, and then I will separate out all the magnetics from there for that future furnace when we're gonna make the bloom. All the gold will hopefully be captured in the gold cube. Now, unlike my video where we ran the material from the umpqua, I'm actually running all 4 trays today. I don't really need more than 4. Some people like 5, they really swear by 5. After years of testing, 5 is just a little bit more work than I need to do for the very tiny amount of gold that's going to be down there. Plus, like I said, I'm going to remove all the magnetics. So the non-magnetics from all of this sand will be re-ran a second time after all of that is done. So we're going to spend the next few hours, because it is going to take a while to run this and get all these buckets ran. But luckily for you, I'm not going to make you watch me for a few hours. So we're going to get all this done, and I'll show you once we are about to shut down. So we got all 4 buckets ran. If you guys follow me on TikTok, maybe you guys were actually watching the live stream while I ran that sand through the sluice, and we were seeing some pretty decent colors. So now it's time to get this cleaned up and in a pan. So let's cut to it in a pan. Okay, so we ran the black sand through the cleanup sluice, and now we've got it in the blue pan, and we're just going to pan all this back and see how much gold we got. But I don't want to bore you guys with all of that, so let's make this a little bit quicker, shall we? And there we go. So this is the gold, and I think I used a little bit too much jet dry because my gold is slightly sticky. So I think I'm going to have to go back through and give that a little bit more of a rinse, or I'll just add it with the other gold and it doesn't really matter. But maybe next time I'll use a little bit less jet dry. So let's see how much gold we got. All right, so let's see what we got. Try to do this without losing any gold. I know I'm covering this for a second, but I'm not left-handed. So we got a little over, we got 1/10 of a gram, 11.11 of a gram. All right, so there is the gold. And now I know to really watch the jet dry. That's really kind of sticking the gold together. I might give that another quick little wash. So thanks for joining me, guys. I really enjoyed taking you on the adventure down to the beach. Me and my son got to explore, see a cave, and we got some gold. Granted, it's not as much gold as we used to get down at the beach, but it's more than I had before. So if you guys liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and hit the little bell notification so that you know when I put out my next videos. And until next time, guys, bye.